Good day, everyone. Today on the bench, I'm going to tie you up Mikulak Sedge. It's from Art Mikulak, his creation. He lived in Calgary. I had some original flies that he tied for his friend Tom Wagler. He gave them to me in a show many years ago, and I just can't give him fingers on them this morning to show them to you. But this is a very, very good fly for the sedges. These big traveling sedges you're going to find on a lot of the stillwater fisheries. There's some very, very fine sedge lakes in British Columbia and all over the country. So if you're into that situation, this would be probably get everybody's vote, the Mitch's Sedge. We call Mitch's Sedge, it's actually Mikulak Sedge. Okay, I'm going to use to tie this fly here, I'm going to start with Tiemco 200R hooks. These are continuous curved hooks in a size 8. I'm going to use this is cow elk, nice coloration of nice elk we're going to use for the wings. The hackle, I'm going to use some brown saddle. This is a furnace, that's fine. And for the body, I'm going to use some olive seal fur. Seal fur actually floats. So let's get a hook in the vise and tie you up a Mikulak Sedge. This is a go-to pattern for anyone that's fished the sedge hatch for sure. And if you haven't had the opportunity, you'll want to make sure you arrange your summer vacation with the sedge hatch at some of these good lakes. It'll be the most fun you've had with a fly rod for a long time. These fish, all these big fish are up looking and eating them there. That's a great fly pattern. It's a great hatch to fish. I had some of my best moments on a lake with this fly and some really good fish on it. Dress the hook. We're going to come just above the barb, and we're going to snip off a little piece of our elk here off the patch. Make sure we get the underfur out. Put it in the tips end of my stacker. Level them out nice and neat. Those tips nice and straight. And come out to about the end of the bend. Just going to take a couple soft turns here. I'm just going to wind this down kind of soft right now and follow ahead in the butts all the way up the shank of the hook. Those are just very loose wraps. I'm using a 6/0 olive dun thread. Now I'm coming back and I'm going to wind it tight. Tight all the way back. And then we're going to get in around behind. And this is where you can gather up you don't want it to flare too much. I'm just going to take a couple soft turns there to gather my hair. Right there. Alright. Now, we're just going to build some segments. It's important to get these done fairly correctly here. You want to make sure your proportions are right. I'm going to bring in some seal fur. This actually floats. Seal fur is really good for subsurface flies, but it actually will float. This seal fur is worth its weight in gold. When you buy it, it's almost that price too, but it is definitely good. It's a little buggy here in the bottom. I'm okay with that. I got my Norvise. You can use dubbing loops or whatever. I'm not too worried about a fly being a little too buggy. I'm going to snip off another generous piece of elk. Doesn't flare as much as deer here. Lots, very buoyant. Now we get her in our stacker, get her tip straight. Now I'm going to come out about halfway. The tip should line up about halfway to the end of the tail. I'm going to get a soft turn, a little tighter turn, tighter, and I'm just going to come forward a little bit. I want to cut off the butts off this. We're just stacking the body. Yep. Art come up with a great fly here. Been around a long time. Whoop. Get my hook in the vise far enough. All right, now just going to repeat that step. Throw another half hitch in there. Grab a little seal fur. And over our next segment. There we go. Grab another pinch, very similar to the deer here again. Clean out the under fur. Just keep stacking her in. This is very, very nice profile. Floats very well. Our tips lined up good. We're coming about halfway to that wing. And soft. I'm pulling up when I get a little bit of tension. I pull it up. That way it stops it from rolling around the shank. I want that wing staying on top. I like it on top. Drop these down nice and snug. We get another little section of seal fur in here. Looks pretty good. Now we'll go one more section. You can depends how many sections you put on the length, the size of the hook you're using. Go to 10s. You know, anywhere from 6 to 10s, I guess. I'm using an 8. You kind of just saw it off the middle. Pretty much only use one size. I do it. Had some 10s as well. They work pretty good. You can just lose one of the sections there when you do that. Oh, didn't get a good stack in there. Let me restack that. There we go. I'm just going to come in the front. A couple little ones didn't quite stack right. And halfway back to that tail again. And now I'm going to wind this up nice at the front here. I want to get myself a little bit of a area here I can get my hackle down. You see that? I've just put a little bit of a flat spot in the dubbing. There's not a little bit of a space in there. Now I'm going to bring my saddle and get a hackle here. Where we go? Let's see what we got with that one. That's pretty good. We're going to tie this dry fly style where the dull side forward. Oh. Catch it in, make sure we got lots of turns, and put lots of hackle on here. Lots of hackle, really lots of hackle. I'm going to use almost that whole feather. This is going to skitter this fly along. It's going to be the legs and the front. And I just kind of catch it off with my scissors right there. Okay. Now this is similar to the elk hair caddis. You can just pull them butts back and finish in behind. I'm going to take my whip finisher this time, bring my butts back in here. This fly is pretty common in British Columbia. But if you guys are coming over here to fish in BC, and wherever you're coming from, make sure you got some of these with you, or if not, find some. Buy them or make them. Then I'm just going to clip the tips of these butts off here, like I'm just going to, like a elk hair caddis. It's got a tremendous amount of hackle on here. And then Art always clipped the bottom and the top. Basically just to have the legs out the side. You could probably leave that on the top because they're not going to see it anyway. But I'm just tying it the way Art did it. And boy, that's a really not a super pretty fly, but I'll tell you that has fooled a lot of big fish. And you won't get much more exciting dry fly action than one of these big sedge patterns in the sedge hatch. There's some really good sedge hatches or lakes around the country. Do some research. get on there and make sure you got some of these available. That Dirty Olive is a really nice colored body, and go to some browns, some tans if you like, and it's a good one. So all the best to you, and you're going to have a lot of fun fishing this pattern. Hope to see you again soon.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.